All right, buddy.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this Crunch the Numbers webinar this afternoon. One of the most important things I believe as we are starting businesses is to learn how to make money quickly with our businesses. A business that doesn't make any money is not a very good business to be in. So we want to make sure we provide every resource we can to get everybody off to a fast start. So thank you for joining us today. Travis Flaherty is a grand president with our organization. An amazing leader, an amazing mentor, a great family man, and a good friend of mine. And he's the reason I'm involved with this company. And so it's my pleasure to be able to introduce a guy that has been featured in a couple of #1 bestseller books. He's been featured in Success Magazine. Eric Worre's group has done a documentary about his and his family's success within this industry. So I wanted to be able to bring you a little bit of his background. Because it is important. Just from my perspective, whenever Travis gets in front of me and he lays it out on what I need to do, I sit there and I get my notebook out because I know that I can learn from him every time he speaks. And so without further ado, Travis, we're glad to have you on this call, and we're excited to hear what you got for us, buddy.
Hey, thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and mute out all the lines so that we don't have any background noise. And we are going to go ahead and get started today. So over the next 20 to 25, 30 minutes, my goal today is to help those of you that are looking at this opportunity understand two very important questions. You know, I know that whenever you're looking at an opportunity, the first question that comes to mind, and I'll write these up here at the top, the first question, if I can get the lid off of my marker here, the first question is, can I do this, right? A lot of times when we look at these opportunities, we want to know, can I be successful in this environment? And so I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to be successful here at World Global Network. So I'm going to take you through our system today. And then, of course, the second question is it worth it? Is it worth it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to also show you how it is possible to get your initial investment back literally within the first week or few weeks that you're here at World Global Network. Now, I'm assuming at this point that everyone that's on this presentation, or if you're watching this presentation and the recording of this presentation, you have seen our 2-minute video at this point. If you've not seen that yet, I encourage you to press pause and go over to myhelodevice.com and watch the 2-minute video so that you understand the excitement and the features that are that go along with this helo. We're doing things in the wearable technology space that no other company in the world is doing. And then, of course, we have our full business overview that explains exactly how the business works. And if you've not yet had a chance to watch that full presentation, we encourage you to do so. You can do that by going over to worldgnoverview.com. Again, that's worldgnoverview.com. So with that, I'm going to jump right into it today. You know, the first thing that I want everyone to understand about network marketing is that you will not have to call your friends and try to sell them products. I think there's a big preconceived notion that network marketing means that you have to call all of your friends and beg them to buy your product or convince them to buy your product. And so I'm here to tell you right now that that is not what we do. I'm also here to tell you that we do not call our friends and our family members and try to convince them to join our business. Those are both outcomes of what we would like to see happen. Of course, there does have to be someone buying product if the company is going to grow. But we are not these salespeople. That's not our job. And so today, what I want to help you understand is what your role would be if you chose to join this success team that we are currently building, in fact, launching right now. I've learned long ago that if you can position yourself in the beginning stages with a company that has all of the signs of becoming one of the next giants in the industry, there's a tremendous amount of money that can be made. And one of the exciting things about what's happening right now with World Global Network is we just launched this company here at the end of October. So, we're talking about a company that really is weeks old at this point, which gives us a significant advantage. I always say that we are the pioneers, and it's the pioneers that they write about in the history books. And so that's the advantage that each and every one of us has. Of course, in business, there's always a top and a bottom and a first and last, and it pays to be at the top, and it also pays to be first. And so we are definitely positioned extremely well. Now, in network marketing, you are going to deal with a few different types of people. And I want to first explain those type of people so that you understand why we created the system that we have. So first of all, you're going to deal with skeptics. Uh-oh, my marker here is going to die on me, so I'm going to change from black to green here, okay? So you're going to deal with skeptics, and you're going to deal with cynics. These are the two types of peoples that typically we come into contact with. Now, first of all, cynics, we don't waste a lot of time with. Cynics are the type of people that no matter what you say to them, no matter what information that you put them in front of, they're never going to change their opinion about the network marketing industry. I'll give you an example. Not too long ago, I shared this opportunity with someone that I know, and they came back and they said, "Hey, is that one of those pyramid schemes?" And I laughed and I said, "No, in fact, it's not. Pyramid schemes are illegal. This is a network marketing opportunity. Network marketing happens to be the fastest growing business model in the entire world today. It is a $186 billion per year industry. To put that into perspective, the entire NFL and the entire music industry is only a $15 billion industry combined. So this is a worldwide industry that now has over 112 million people involved globally. It actually pays out over $200 million per day to people just like myself and some of the other individuals that are here today, just simply for sharing products that we believe in, sharing products that we enjoy, sharing products that can make a difference in other people's lives. So I could share all that information with someone and they'll still come back and say, "Yeah, but it's a pyramid scheme," right? So we don't waste our time with cynics. What I've learned is that there are a lot of people that are out there right now that are searching for solutions. Typically they fall into one of three categories. Either category one is someone that is looking for more time in their life to be able to do the things that they want to do rather than the things that they have to do. Category two are those that are looking for financial solutions. A large majority of North America and even around the world lives paycheck to paycheck. They don't have a savings. They definitely don't have a retirement plan. And of course, then we get into the retirement age where people are, I think it's up to 70% of people are now retiring with absolutely no money in the bank, and they're living on 1/3 of the money that they couldn't afford to live on in the first place. And finally, the last category is those that are looking for better health. And so what's exciting about World Global Network is that we provide solutions to all three of those different categories. And so it doesn't make sense to waste our time trying to convince people to join our business or to try and persuade them of network marketing. So with that, I want to talk a little bit about skeptics today. Now, some of you might say, well, wait a second, not everybody's skeptical. Some of the people I talk to are very receptive. But here's the reason why I put most people into the category of being skeptical. We are all skeptics by nature. And I'm going to give you an example. If somebody came to my door right now and they were holding a clipboard and I peeked out the window and I saw somebody standing there that I didn't recognize, the first thought that would go through my mind is, oh, what's this person trying to sell me, right? The reality is that we are presented with opportunities just about everywhere that we turn. From the time that we wake up in the morning, we get in the car and let's say that we're driving to work or driving the kids to school or whatever the case might be. And on the radio, what do we hear? Radio advertisements. We're driving down the freeway and we look up. What do we see? Billboards. We finally sit down in front of the computer. We check our email in the morning. What do we see? All kinds of spam and messages of people trying to sell us things. And even on social media, as you scroll through the news feeds, everyone's pretty much trying to sell something. And so because of that, we have learned to put up a wall on a subconscious level. You see, everybody wants to buy, but no one wants to be sold. And so with that, what we have to understand is that most people are going to be skeptical, especially when you add in these three letters. When you add in MLM, people automatically get a little bit funny, right? There is still a stigma associated with network marketing. It is the most misunderstood business model in the world. And even though that it produces more millionaires today than any other industry, people still they don't understand the business model. They think that network marketing means that they're going to have to invite their friends and their family members and people from church over to their home so that they can sell them a bunch of product. Maybe it's Tupperware, or maybe it's candles, or whatever the case might be. So what I want you to understand is that is not what we do here. However, we have to anticipate that most people are going to be skeptical. So what we've done is we've developed a system that navigates around that initial skepticism. So I'm going to use a couple of different analogies. The first analogy that I'm going to give you is I'm going to draw a baseball diamond. I love the game of baseball. And in baseball, typically what happens is when somebody comes up to the plate, if their objective is to hit a home run, they're probably going to strike out 9 out of 10 times. If they walk up to the plate with the objective to try and hit one out of the park, in most cases, they're going to swing and they're going to miss. And that's a lot of times what network marketers do. You see, a lot of times what happens is we join a business and we get excited, right? We're enthusiastic about, how we're going to be able to go and declare our financial freedom day here, the day that we no longer have to trade time for dollars. We can do the things that we want to do rather than the things that we have to do. And we want to go tell everybody about it. And so what happens is we go call our mother, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, cousin, best friend, and what do? Hey, listen, you know what? I just got involved in this company called World Global Network, and you know what? It's so exciting. The company just launched. They're in 195 countries. They got a product called the Hilo. It's amazing. This thing can do everything from blood pressure to EKG. It's going to be able to monitor your blood sugar pretty soon, and you know what? We have a chance to be able to get started right now. It's like, woo, woo, and the person that's on the other side of that call is like, whoa, slow down for a second, right? They're already thinking, okay, this is one of those things and I'm not interested. That's typically what happens. And so usually you're met with a couple of objections. And here's the objections that you'll usually hear in that scenario. The first one is well, I just don't have the time. Much going on. I just don't have the time to get involved in one of these businesses. Or you might hear, well, I just don't have the money. I just don't have the money right now to get started. Or lastly, you might hear things like, I've tried one of those things in the past and they typically don't work. When you're hearing these type of objections, usually what's happening is somebody is forming an opinion, but that opinion is not based on all the facts. And so it's very important that we take people through a process. There's a couple of things that I want everyone to understand on this presentation. First of all, number one, you need to understand your role as a network marketing professional. And that's where most people are confused. I'm going to write that right over here. Know your role. And if there's anything that you walk away with from this presentation today, it is that I want you to understand exactly what your role is. Again, your role is not to try and sell Hilos. That's the result that we would like to have, but that's not your role. You're not the salesperson. Your role is actually not to try and convince people to join the business. That's the result that we would like to have happen, but that's actually not your role either. Your role is to simply educate and inform. Your role is to put people in front of the right tools and the right information so that they can make a well-informed decision. That is all we do as network marketers. If you're doing anything more than that, then you are selling. And when you are selling, people will resist you. It's just a natural instinct. So in our system, what we've done, and here's one more thing that we have to understand. We have to understand human psychology. People are more willing to agree to do something small before they agree to do something much bigger. And I'm going to give you an example. So there was a study that was done. This was over in England. They went to an initial group of homes, and they had a big, ugly sign. And they knocked on the homeowners' doors, and they said, we're trying to do good. We're trying to get the traffic to slow down. Would it be okay if we put this big sign in your yard that said, slow down, children are playing? And it was a big, ugly sign. So the homeowners looked at the sign and they said, yeah, we'd love to help, but I'm sorry, we don't want that big sign in our yard. So literally less than 5% of the homeowners said yes. They went to a second group of homes with a much smaller, non-obtrusive sign, and they said the same thing. They said, listen, we're trying to do good. Would it be okay if we put this small sign in your yard? And this time, 4 out of the 10 homeowners said yes. But here's the fascinating statistic. They went back to those homeowners 1 month later and said, the sign is too small. Would it be okay if we put this bigger sign in your yard? And believe it or not, 60% of the homeowners agreed to the bigger sign. So what does that tell us? It tells us that people are more willing to agree to do something small before they agree to do something much bigger. Another analogy that I'll give you is a boxer. So in the first round of boxing, the boxers both come out and they have their hands up. They have their guard up, right? They're guarded, they're protected, and over time, their guard starts to come down a little bit. And so what we do is we have a system that's designed to help take someone who is a skeptic and get them to go, tell me a little bit more about this. And that's exactly what we do. So here's what happened here's what you're going to be doing. So when I first launched my business, the first thing that I did is I made a names list. Okay, I didn't prejudge anybody. I knew that I wasn't going to have to call these people trying to get them to buy my product or to join my business. My only objective was to get those people to first base to watch a 2-minute video. Okay, we have a 2-minute video, and there's a couple of different ways that you can share the 2-minute video. You can share it with one of our websites that we've created called myhelodevice.com. I'm sure many of you have been there or you've seen the 2-minute video. The second option is we actually have a World Global app that you can download on your phone, and you can share the 2-minute video directly from your app. And the third way is there's a system that's available to World Global members called helo.life, and you can share the 2-minute video that way as well. So you've got a couple of different options. It doesn't matter which system that you use. What matters is that you're just getting people to the 2-minute video. Now, when I made my names list, I didn't prejudge anybody. You know, the interesting thing is you never know what somebody's circumstances are. You never know what their situation is. You know, for 18 months prior to learning about this opportunity, I stepped away from the network marketing industry to launch a traditional business. Over that 18-month period, I was approached no less than 100 times about network marketing opportunities. And in every single case, I said, I'm not interested, not looking for any new opportunities at this time. My circumstances changed. Let's say that twice. My circumstances changed about a year ago. And I found myself in a situation where I was starting to consider a new direction. And I was starting to think about what 2017 was going to look like for myself and my family. And at that time, a friend of mine reached out to me and asked if I was open. And I said, you know what? I'm open, but I'm not necessarily looking. What do you got? And he said, look, I want to send you a 2-minute video. If I send it to you, would you take a look at it and just let me know what you think? And I said, absolutely. And because of that 2-minute video, and because he reached out to me, here we are today. So my point is when you're creating a names list, you can't prejudge anyone. You never know what their circumstances are. So what I did is I opened up my phone and I literally just started with A and I went to Z and I got every name that I could think of out of my head and out of that phone onto a piece of paper, okay? So I made a names list, and when I did this, I had about 187 names on my first attempt. Over time, that eventually grew, but that was my first attempt. From there, what I did is I narrowed it down initially to my top 50. Now, it doesn't mean that I wasn't going to eventually talk to everyone, but I wanted to, if I could hand pick the people that were in my business, if I had a board of directors and I had 20 seats and I were launching a company, who would I want in that business? Those are the people that I put on this list. I also put the people that I love and care about most on that list. Why? Because I wanted to make sure that they at least knew what I was up to. Because the last thing that I want is for someone that I love and care about to come back to me a year from now and say, why in the world, Travis, did you not tell us about this when it was happening, when it was just launching? So I made my names list. And then from there, my objective was to get those 50 people to watch a 2-minute video. Now, there's a couple of different options here. I could call 50 people and invite them to watch a 2-minute video. But the problem is that today people are pretty busy. And if I called 50 people, chances are I'd probably only reach about 20% of them in the first day, and I'd spend the next few days trying to get them on a phone call. Or I could text 50 people, probably within an hour or two at most, and I know that I'm going to be in front of 80 to 90% of them in a very short period of time. So what I want to do is I want to show you the exact texting scripts that I used, and now the exact texting scripts that we share with our team members so that you can get an idea of how I went about getting people to watch this or to take a look at that 2-minute video. So I'm going to give you a couple of different examples. So first of all, I want to share 4 words with you, and these words are powerful words when they are used properly. The 4 words are, my board's getting filled up here. So the 4 words, I'll write it right up here at the top, are if I, would you. If I, would you. If I, would you. Now, let me explain. If I were to walk up to any one of you, and let's say that I had a brochure, and I held that brochure out in front of you, and I said, listen, Maria, if I were to give you this information, would you be willing to take a look at it? Now, Maria's natural instinct, if I were to put my hands out, her natural instinct would be to reach up to grab what I'm handing her. But if I didn't let it go, and I said, hey, Maria, listen, if I were to give you this, would you be willing to take a look at it? What I'm conveying is that this is important, that there is value here, and I'm not going to give it to you unless you agree to do something in return. You see, the last thing that you want to do is spam someone a link to your 2-minute video. Because, if I were to just say, hey, Maria, when you get a chance, check out this 2-minute video. This is an amazing product. It devalues the entire proposition. It puts it into a category with all of the other spam that's sitting in your inbox right now on your email and all of the spam that's probably inside of your social media folders. So the term if I, would you conveys value. Another thing is that we will never send an unsolicited link. So you never want to send someone a link without first getting their permission. So here's how we do it. So first of all, I use some different approaches. Don't pay attention to the language. This is how I communicate with people. You might have a different language, the way that you talk to people. But for people that were really close to me, or people that were real close friends or family, in fact, one of my friends, this is the exact text I used. I just says, hey, bro, I have a question for you. Have you heard of the Hilo? A few minutes later, he responded and he says, no, what's that? And I just said, listen, if I send you over a 2-minute video, will you watch it? And then just give me 2 to 3 minutes of your time to answer a couple questions about a project I'm working on. He said, sure, send it over. No big deal. Another approach that I love is called the Girl Scout cookie approach. And here's why it's so effective. First of all, if I were to reach out to any one of you that's on this presentation right now, and we were really close friends, or we were family members, and you knew me well enough to know my daughter's name, and I reached out to you and said, hey, listen, my daughter Sienna's selling Girl Scout cookies. She wants to be the #1 salesman in the entire state. And it's a big goal, we know, so we're reaching out to some friends for help. Would you be willing to buy a box or 2 of cookies just to help her reach her goal? What would you say? I would imagine, and you can type whatever you would say in the chat box if you want, but I'm guessing that most of you would say yes, if not everyone on this presentation. And it's not just because you love Thin Mints or Samoas. It's because you want to help, right? We all have this innate desire to want to help someone else reach their goals. It's what connects us, at that innate level, is we want to help other people. So with that in mind, I want you to put yourself into this situation, okay? Now, Richie, I want you to role play with me if you don't mind. So, Richie, if I texted you, and by the way, if you're watching this, I want you to put yourself on the receiving end of this text message. Richie, if I texted you and you and I know each other very well, and I just says, hey, Richie, text me back when you get a minute. I need a quick favor, and I was hoping you could help. What would you say?
I'd say, what could I do for you?
And that's what most people would do. Sure, what's up? What can I do to help? And then from there, I respond and I just said, hey, Richie, thanks for the reply. Listen, I recently partnered with a new wearable tech company. I need a handful of my friends who I respect to just watch a 2-minute video and share their thoughts with me. If I send it over, would you watch it? Can I count on your support?
Yeah, that'd be easy.
Now think about this, guys. I'm not asking for anything big. I'm not coming at Richie saying, listen, I just joined a business and I want you to join this business with me. Right? Richie's startup, but he's willing to watch a 2-minute video. Why? Because it's a small sign. I'm not asking for anything big. And I'm asking for help. So once he says, sure, send it over, I say, hey, man, thank you. I appreciate you. Check out the video at myhelodevice.com. Let me know if tonight or tomorrow would be better for me to follow up. I only need 2 to 3 minutes of your time. That's it. So here's a third one that I use. I use this more for professionals that maybe I worked with or business colleagues in the past. I just said, hey, Richie, listen, I recently got involved with a technology company. The stock is climbing through the roof. I believe there's a window of opportunity here to make some money. If I sent you a 2-minute video, would you watch it and just give me 2 to 3 minutes of your time just to share your thoughts with me? What would you say, Richie?
Sounds good. I'm always open to making more money.
So again, guys, remember my role, right? Know your role. It's just to get somebody to watch a 2-minute video. Here's a couple of others, family, friends or family urgency approach. Hey, Richie, listen, I have something you need to see as soon as possible. If I send you a 2-minute video, will you watch it and let me know your thoughts? Now, I'm leveraging the fact that we're friends. I'm leveraging the fact that we're family. I'm leveraging the fact that we have a relationship already. He trusts me. So when I say, I've got something you need to see, I'm conveying that this is important. But again, I'm not going to include the link until he says, yeah, I'll watch it. He's agreeing to watch it. And then I say, cool, thanks. When you have a minute, can you go here, myhelodevice.com, let's make sure to connect in the next 24 hours so I can fill you in on the details. Is tonight or tomorrow better for you? And I always add, is tonight or tomorrow better for you? I'm not leaving it open. I'm always, before I get done, I'm always trying to pinpoint when's the next conversation going to be. And finally, here's just a direct approach. Hey, Richie, I have something I need to talk to you about, but first, need you to watch a 2-minute video and just call me as soon as you've watched it. Cool? He says, sure. I send over the 2-minute video. Guys, I did this, and I did this within a couple of hours, and out of the 50 people that I did this to, 41 of them, 41 yeses right away. Now, some people just didn't respond, and that's okay. I just assumed that they were busy. No big deal. I'm just looking for the low-hanging fruit at this point. So now, once they watch the 2-minute video, my objective is to move them from first base to second base. Okay, second base in our system is a full 30-minute overview. Most of you that are watching this presentation by now have seen the 30-minute presentation. And we do them every single night of the week. We do them 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We also have an on-demand presentation that's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at worldgnoverview.com. So how do I get those 41 people to now watch a 30-minute presentation? Again, you're not selling. You're not convincing. This is all I did. So I followed up with those 41 people. Now, this is very important. It has to be done in person. You can initially text, but the follow-up, remember, the reason why you're following up, you said, I need 2 to 3 minutes of your time just to ask you a couple of simple and easy questions. So number one, if you don't follow up, then you're conveying that this isn't that important. If you don't follow up for a week, you're conveying that this isn't important. So again, it's a matter of doing what you say you're going to do, which is what professionals do. And then number two, it's a matter of when you do follow up. Sorry guys, you have to excuse me 1 second, real quickly. I've got somebody here. Sorry to keep everybody waiting. I had somebody come to my door and they're staring at me, so I had to go handle that. All right, so again, when you do follow up, it's a matter of you're doing what you say you're going to do, and it also gives you an opportunity to ask them some very important questions. So here are the questions. So again, Richie, if you wouldn't mind role-playing with me, here's what I'm going to do. So first of all, number one, I'm always in a hurry. The reason why is because I don't have time to answer questions. I'm not here to sell. I'm not here to convince. It's not my job. My job is just to get you to watch a 30-minute presentation. So if I let you know up front I'm in a hurry, it's going to be less likely that you're going to ask me questions, because what I've learned is when you start to answer questions, you open up a can of worms. They form an opinion. The opinion is not based on all the facts. So here's what I do. Hey, Richie, listen, I'm glad that I caught you. I only have a quick minute. And let me stop the share here real fast. Richie, I'm glad that I caught you. I've only got a quick minute. Hey, listen, did you watch the 2-minute video that I sent you?
Yes, sir.
So did you watch it? Okay. Number two, what did you like best, Richie, about the Helo?
I loved the remote monitoring.
You know what? I couldn't agree with you more. I've got a grandma that lives on her own, 84 years old, and to me, it's priceless that I can keep an eye on her. She lives in Las Vegas. I'm here in Arizona, and that's something that was very important to me. Hey, let me ask you a question. I think that there's a window of opportunity to go make some money with this Helo. Are you open to other income opportunities right now?
Yeah, I'm open.
Okay, are you open? Great. Well, listen, the reason why I ask, and here's my invite. The reason why I ask is because my friends and I, my partners and I, are having a very important meeting online tonight where we are going to go over the details of that opportunity. Now, Richie, it doesn't matter to me if you choose to get involved or not, but it does matter that you take a look because you're my friend. And the last thing that I want is for you to come back a year from now and say, why did you not tell me about this when it was happening? So if I send you the details of that call, would you be willing to listen in? Let me know what you think.
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay, perfect. I'll shoot you over the details tonight, and I'll give you a little 10-minute reminder before the call starts. Does that sound good to you?
Good.
Okay, perfect. Now, would it be better for me to touch base with you after the presentation tonight or tomorrow?
Tomorrow, please.
Okay, great. What time tomorrow is best for you?
10 a.m.
Okay, perfect. I'll buzz you tomorrow at 10 a.m. See, guys, closed language makes a difference. I'm always setting the next appointment before I get done. So what happens is now out of those 41 yeses, 30 of them said, sure, I'll watch your presentation. Now, some of them were busy. Some of them flat out just said, I'm just not really, I've got too much on my plate right now. That's okay. That's totally fine with me. So I had 30 people that said yes, they would go watch a presentation. And again, all I did is, did you watch it? What'd you like best? Hey, are you open right now? Listen, this is what's happening tonight. Doesn't matter if you get involved or not, but I would love it if you take a look. There's no sales here at all, you guys. All I'm doing is texting a 2-minute video, and then I'm inviting somebody to watch a 30-minute presentation. Once they've watched the 30-minute presentation, now, guess what happens? First of all, on this 30-minute presentation, think about what happens here. Now they hear about the opportunity the right way. They hear all of the facts. They hear that this is an emerging $34 billion trend over the next 3 years. They hear that we're partnered with Toshiba. They hear that our stock is going through the roof. They hear that we're open in 195 countries. They hear that we just launched North America a few weeks ago. They hear that there's an opportunity to go and earn a percentage off of these devices as they're selling all over the world. And so what happens is, and remember the boxing analogy that I gave you? Their hands start to go like this. This is interesting, right? This is interesting. And that's the whole reason that we do this process. And so that by the time that they get here, they learn about the opportunity the right way. They're not getting bits and pieces of it here where they're going to put up a wall. So now, once they watch the opportunity, my objective is to get them to third base. Well, what is third base? It's simply a follow-up, and we call it a connect call. A connect call is where you now introduce them to someone else in your business. Why? Because at this point, they usually have questions. And what you need to understand is behind those questions is now a sincere interest. And you want to know what the top 2 questions are? Right here. Can I do this? And is it worth it? They may have some individual questions about the device itself. Can I, is it one of those things? Does it, can I do the SOS feature when I'm not plugged, hooked up to my phone? Little questions like that you're going to address. But the reason why you connect them and get someone else involved at this point, 2 reasons. Number 1 is you want to bring a third party in. It's called third party validation. It validates the opportunity. Number 2, you're bringing somebody in that might have been in the business a little bit longer than you so they can help you answer the questions the right way. And number 3, they're going to share their success story. They're going to share that they've been in the business for a while and it's working for them. They're having success. So it actually gives them a third party perspective of the opportunity. From there, they are now ready to make a well-informed decision. And in some cases, this connect call might be a webinar like we're on right now, where we're simply explaining our system. Now, I want to ask all of you a couple of simple questions, okay? And this is going to handle the number 1 question for you. If you knew that you were not going to have to call your friends or your family members, if you knew that you were never going to have to call them to try and sell them a helo, if you knew that you were never going to have to call them and try and convince them to join a business, could you put together a names list of some other sharp professionals like yourself? That's question number 1. Now, I'm guessing that most of you said yes, so we're going to check that off. Question number 2, could you send some pre-written text messages that are already pre-written for you, inviting those people to watch a 2-minute video? Could you do that? And if Maria's saying yes, she can. So we're going to check that box. So yes, you could. Okay. Now, number 3, for the people that want more information, for the people that say, yeah, I'm open, could you invite them to a 30-minute presentation that's either happening live every night or a pre-recorded 24-hour, 7-day-a-week message or a recording that's available? Could you do that? If you can do that, great. And number 4, for those that have questions, could you introduce them to your upline leader and allow them to help you answer questions? Yes. If you can do these 4 things, congratulations, you can do this business, because that is all I do. If you're doing anything more than this, then you're saying too much. You're saying too much, and as a result, you're probably getting the type of objections that we talked about earlier on. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. You know what? I've done those things before in the past, and they don't work. Those are all objections that come from preconceived notions of this industry. It's important that we share the information the right way, but we also have to do it in a way where we move around the initial skepticism. That's the difference between amateurs and professionals in this industry. So this is number 1. So hopefully at this point, we've answered this question for you. Can I do this? Now, the next question here, and we're going to wrap up after this, is it worth it? Well, you know, obviously I need to spend a little bit more time with each one of you individually to find out what your true goals are. You know, for me, my goals are not to have to go to work somewhere else to build somebody else's future at the expense of my own. My goals are to be able to spend time with my family, with the people that I love and care about most. My goals are to be able to be in a position where I have peace of mind financially. There's nothing worse in the entire world than laying there at night not being able to sleep because you're sick to the stomach trying to figure out how you're going to make your mortgage payment or your electric payment or your gas payment, or you're going to put food on your table. So those are some of the things. And my why is that I want to be able to help other people. I want to be positioned in a way financially where if somebody in my family or somebody that I love needs help, I'm in a position to do so. I want to be in a position where I can donate to charity and make a difference in the world. These are things that are important to me. So I don't know what your why is, but those things are my why. Now, I want to show you how it's possible to get your initial investment back right out of the gate. So first of all, you know that there's a couple of different options and ways that people can get involved with our company. You know, of course, we have our customer options. Our customer options are $199 if you just want to buy a Hilo, $349 if you want to take advantage of the single box set bundle, which is a great deal. The $349 comes with a Hilo. It comes with a multicolored band pack. It also comes with the germanium stone set that goes on the inside of the bands. These are great for customers. Okay. Now, for those of you that want to build the business, there are 2 main business kits. I'm going to write BK right here, business kits. The first one is $1,349, and it comes with 4 Hilos. It comes with 4 multicolored band packs, and it comes with 4 of the germanium stone sets, 1 for each one of those Hilos that you have. This is where 80% of the people that are members in our company get started. Why? Because most people have a spouse, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, people that they love and care about that need this device. They also recognize that even though we're not in the business of going out and selling these things in a traditional direct sales model would be, it's still helpful to have some extra inventory just to use, share, and demo. And so that's one of the options. And the second option, we call this a family pack. And then the second option is our premium pack. And our premium pack is $1,999, and it comes with 6 Hilos, 6 multicolored band packs, and 6 of the germanium stone sets. Now, for the person that's looking to go all in, they're looking to launch a company, they want to create a full-time income for their family. This is a good option simply because not only do you have enough product for you and your family. I mean, guys, my children wear these to school. And you know what? When they're at school, their teachers ask about them. I want these on my family because I want them to be a walking advertisement. I want them to be a product of the product. So I want to make sure I have enough inventory to do that. Second of all, when I sign someone up into my business, I run an exchange program. So a lot of times I don't want that new promoter to wait 10 days to have to get their product in the mail. So sometimes I'll give them a single box set and say, here you go. When your product arrives in the mail, just give it back to me. Now, sometimes if they're far in a different country or different state, it's a little bit harder to do. But it allows me to run an exchange program in my business. And so you have 2 different options here. So these are the ways that you can get started in the business. Now, I want to show you how you can get your initial investment back. So first of all, there's a couple of different ways that you get paid. The first way is called a first order bonus. fast start bonus. The way that it pays out is you get paid 10% of whoever buys something, they go to your link and they choose to buy a helo as a customer, or they sign up in the business, you get paid a 10% bonus, just a one-time commission. It's kind of like selling a house. Okay, well, in our compensation plan, our goal is to help you when you first start, go find 2 people, okay? 2 people. Just 2 people. You don't have to look very far to find people. I promise you that all of us that are watching this presentation know somebody that's going to go to bed tonight saying a prayer asking for financial solutions. So number 1 and number 2. By doing that, and I'm going to assume, and I'm just going to use the family pack as an example because 80% of the people start here, which is our $13.49. If you get paid 10% of that, that means you made $135 off of each person that you sponsored. So you made, from first order bonus, you made $270 from signing somebody up into your business, okay? Now, our goal is to help you do this within the first 72 hours that you get started. How do we do that? Very simple. Make a names list, start sharing the 2-minute video, and then ultimately those that want more information, plug them into a presentation. You know, there's a difference between joining a business and launching a business. Launching a business is taking the time, making the names list, and putting those people in process. We call it loading the wagons. So from there, our goal is to teach those 2 people how to go do the exact same thing. We teach them how to go get their 2 people. At this point, I want you to understand, you have become a team developer. Team developer is the foundation of our business. This is all we teach over and over again. Come in, get to, teach them how to get to. After that, your job is just to become a team developer factory. Help the people that you bring into the business get to, teach them to get to. You just do this over and over and over again. And what happens is the exponential growth starts to kick in. You go from a few people to all of a sudden 10 and 20, and all of a sudden 20 people are doing this, and you have 40, and 40 people go get to, and it's 80, and you can do the math from there. So when you do this, if you do this within the first 30 days, you get a bonus. And the bonus is, right now, it's a share in our team developer bonus pool. The shares right now today, I think they finished off at about $210, I think is where the shares ended up for the month of November. So you would earn, in a team developer bonus, another $200 simply because you went out and you helped 2 people get 2 people within 30 days. Now, if you decided to do this within the first 7 days, which means that you are working a little bit harder, and you've got some people that are, they're ready to lock arms with you, and you guys come in and do this. Instead of getting 1 share, you would get 3 shares. So instead of 200, I'm going to put in parentheses here, you would earn $600 based on the November numbers, and a team. It's called a team developer bonus, and so you would earn $600 in that scenario. Now, I want to point out something. This is just based on the 10% and the bonus. The second way that you get paid is called team commissions, and this is where the residual income kicks in. And this is very important that you understand the difference here between network marketing and traditional business, or even having a job. As if I have a job, I only get paid when I'm at work. When I'm not at work, I'm not getting paid. In network marketing, the beautiful thing is you're getting paid a little bit of money off of a lot of people that are all just doing a little bit. They're out there wearing and sharing this helo over and over again. So what happens is every single week, the computer system looks through your left team and your right team. I drew a line down the center to separate the 2 teams. Team 1, team 2, left team and right team. What happens is all of the sales that happen in your organization through infinity, guys. I have thousands of people in 20 countries around the world. I don't know people in India or Shenzhen, China, but I have people in those countries. How? Because I just started sharing a 2-minute video, and people started doing the same thing, and pretty soon it starts to go viral. You may not know someone in Australia, but you know somebody that knows somebody that does. And so what happens is every single week it adds up the team volume, and you get paid what's called team volume commissions. And the way that it works is let's say that, in this scenario here, and I'm going to erase these down here, just the scenario that I've drawn out, team developer, you have a total of 1,500 in volume on each side. Each one of these packs is worth 500 in volume, 500 in volume, 500 in volume. We call it volume because it's universal around the world. So you have 1,500 in volume. What it does is it's going to pay you 20% of whichever leg is the lesser leg. In this case, they're even. So in this case, you would make another $300 with the scenario of going team developer. in this case that I've shared here. So I want to just stop and add this up for just a moment. So let's say that you did it in the first 7 days, $900, $1,100, that's $1,470 if you sponsored 2 people and helped them get 2 in your first 7 days. That's almost $1,500. You're already profitable in your first 7 days. Now, what if it took you 30 days to do it and you only got the $200 bonus? You're still $500, you're $770 into this at this point, and literally that's all we've done. Now, what if it took you 2 months to get your initial investment back? I've been in businesses that, I've put money out and it's taken years before I've received all of my money back. Some cases I never got my money back. But to be in a position where you can get 100% of your initial investment back right out of the gate is extremely powerful. Now, I want to take this a step further because our goal is to help you do this within the first 7 days. And then from there, our goal is to teach you how to go find 4 more people. We're going to drop them on your left team, and 4 more people over here. Drop them on your right team. That's a total of 10 people in your first month that you would have sponsored. Okay, how do you do that? Very simple. Here's the numbers. If you're bad at this business, it's 1 in 10. 1 in 10, which means that I have to have a list of 100 people that I shared the 2-minute video with, followed up, asked them those 3 questions, and I'm going to find 10 people that are interested in joining my business. So if you do exactly what I've shown you here, remember, you get a first order bonus on every single one of these people that you've sponsored. 135, 135, 135, 135, and the same thing over here. So 8 times 135 is, what is it, about $1,060. Okay, so now you've added an extra $1,060 in income from first order bonuses. But remember, there's also team volume that's created from each one of these, 500, 500, 500. So that's a total of 2,000 in volume on each side. Well, 2,000 in volume times 20% is another $400. Guys, if you do the math here, you're looking at approximately $1,460, $1,760, even conservatively, if we didn't do the team developer in the first 7 days, $1,960. I'm looking at well over $2,000 in earnings in my first 30 days. If I did it within the first 7 days, I became a team developer, and then over the next 3 weeks, I continued to work the business and sponsored 10 people into my business. I'm at about about 2,500 or so in earnings. And I'm just getting started, guys. This is my first weekend or first month in the business. My question to you guys is, if your friends knew that all you were doing, Maria, was working from home and just texting some text messages, inviting people to look at a 2-minute video and plugging them into an overview, and you literally made $2,500 in your first 4 weeks, do you think you have people that you know that would like to know a little bit about that? And that's just your first month, but I'm not done. I'm going to share one more thing with you. So here's the cool thing about our team developer bonus. It's not just you that gets the bonus. If you qualify at team developer, let's say that you go sponsor 10 people in the first month, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 people that you sponsor, okay? I put them on your first line because you sponsored them, so they're direct to you. Well, not only when you go team developer do you get the 1 share or the 3 shares in the pool, which was either the 200 or the 600, but your sponsor gets that as well. So let me just paint a scenario for you. Let's say that you sponsored those 10 people in the first month and you help 3 of them go team developer in the first 7 days. That means that you just got 9 shares in the bonus pool. The shares were worth $200 each. That would be another $1,800 bonus that you received because you helped 3 of those people become a team developer. At that point, you can add another $1,800 on here. You guys can do the math. Richie, if you wouldn't mind adding that up for me at some point. I know it's starting to get up there, but I think I've got 1,800, 2,200. What is that? 3,200 approximately, 3,500, 3,700, 3,900-ish, $4,000 in earnings. And if I add in the $600, I'm at about $4,600 in earnings if I did this correctly. And I think I did. So, but now let's say you only did, maybe one of them did it in the first, 7 days. And then you had another couple, 3 of them that did it within their first 30 days. And so you've got 3 shares here, another 1, 1, and 1, 3, 4, 5, 6 shares. So instead of 9 shares, you get 6 shares at $200 a share. So instead of 1,800, you get 1,200. So let's take that out of there. Okay, so I'm still over $4,000 in income. I don't know about you guys, but I know a lot of people that work really hard to get to a $4,000 a month income, and they're not doing this from home, enjoying their family and doing the things that they want to do. And this is just your first month. This doesn't include any of the team commissions that start to take place as we move forward. Because as your organization grows and we start teaching that duplication, guys, it turns into, a tremendous amount of volume, and that volume starts to add up. My wife and I have been in this business since February. We hit a rank called Grand President within the first 6 months that we were here. A qualified Grand President earns no less than $30,000 per week in earnings. Now, I want to put that into perspective. $30,000 a week. All we're doing is I'm sharing a 2-minute video. I'm sharing for, inviting those people that want more information to take a look at a 30-minute presentation. And then for those people, I'm connecting them to a presentation like this so I can answer the 2 most important questions that we all have, which is, can I do this and is it worth it? Well, let me ask you a question. Is there anything that you're currently working on right now that over the course of even the next 2 years could put you into a position where you have a 6-figure residual income? Residual. It's mailbox money. That's money that just comes month after month. How would that make a difference in your family? If the answer is no, then I strongly encourage you to take a look at what we're doing here. So again, my purpose here today was just simply to make sure that you understood whether or not you can be successful in this environment and is it worth it. And my hope is that we've been able to answer that question for you. I'm going to call on my good friend. He's a diamond in the company, Mr. Richie Hood, to share his testimonial, his story with you, because he has a very powerful story. He came into the business in March with some goals, and I want him to share what those goals were and where he's at now. So Richie, do you mind sharing your story?
No, absolutely. Like Travis said, we joined the business February 26th of this year, and we did have some lofty goals. I was involved as an owner in an accounting firm, and I knew that wasn't my long-term plan. And so I was looking for an opportunity to change directions in my life. And so we saw this as that vehicle to get us to a new point in our life. And my goal was to get home with my kids. And so we hit the ground running hard, very strategically. I wish we had the team developer bonus going on at the very beginning, because that would have made things look tremendously different. But we did. We hit the ground running. We put a huge names list together, and we got the message out very quickly. Hit diamond rank within the first 3 weeks of our business. In our 4th month, we were able to walk away from the accounting firm and just do this full time. And it's been the best business model I have found, the best opportunity, and I'm just trying to tell as many people as I can to get to that point.
Thank you, Richie. Qualified diamonds earn $2,000 per week, guys. Richie hit it in his 3rd week in the business. He's able to move home from his accounting firm to being at home now with his family. So I wanted to just give you that example. And lastly, I just have to share a very simple wealth building strategy with you at the risk of running a little bit over. I want to just make sure that I share this principle with you, because this is a principle that's made a difference in my life. When someone like Elon Musk or Warren Buffett or Robert Kiyosaki or someone of that nature goes and starts a business, do you think that they use their own money to start the business, or do you think that they use the bank's money? Of course they use the bank's money, right? It's called OPM. OPM stands for other people's money. And it also translates to a word called leverage. And what's interesting is that most people today have leverage. They just don't use it properly. I'll give you an example. A credit card is a form of leverage. A home equity line is a form of leverage. Even a loan against a car can be a form of leverage. Here's the problem, though. Most people look at debt as bad, right? You don't want to go into debt, and you don't. Consumer debt, most people, they rack up their credit cards. They end up a slave to their consumer debt. But here's what the wealthy do. The wealthy people take that leverage, and let's say that they bought this business, and they put $2,000 on a credit card. First of all, the interest payment, this is a tax deduction. Okay, so when you start your business, it's immediately a tax deduction. You move yourself from the W-2 quadrant, which is the most expensive quadrant to live in. You pay the most taxes, over to a self-employed status immediately, which means you can write off your cell phone and all of those things, which means you would probably get more than $2,000 back just because of that tax deduction. But the interest payment on that's probably going to run you somewhere in the neighborhood of $150 to $200 per month. That's a tax deduction as well. But here's what we do. We take the money, right, from the business now that you've started to pay off your credit card first. And so now what you do is you pay your credit card off, and now you've acquired an income producing asset without coming out of pocket. That's what the wealthy do. And so it's not that debt is bad, consumer debt is bad, but using leverage to acquire income producing assets is how the wealthy continue to get wealthier. So I wanted to share that principle with all of you. When Summer and I started, we put $2,000 on a credit card. It was a tax deduction. We wrote that off and we followed the system. So we literally paid this off before our first bill even came. So that was a moot point. This was a moot point. And literally, I acquired a business that now pays me on a monthly basis what most people would get excited about on a yearly basis, and it didn't cost me $1. That is good business, and that's how you get ahead. If you want different results, you have to think differently. And I would just say to those of you that maybe are not happy with your current financial situation, you've got to start thinking like the wealthy, and you've got to start making different decisions if you want different results. And so I just wanted to share that principle with you. I think our time is up here. And so with that, I want to say thank you very much for listening in today. Again, my name is Travis Flaherty. I'm a world changer. And should you decide to join this business, my promise to you is that you will not fail here for lack of support. You will not fail for lack of support. You will have all of the coaching and mentorship that you need to be successful. And with that, I want to say thank you very much for plugging in today. You guys have a great day today and take care.